Hi guys, welcome to another episode of Devongunsmith Diaries. This is a lovely little 12-bore side-by-side. So this has got a little bit of a problem, and it's a funny one because it seems that the fore end is loose, and after tightening the loop it still was loose. I don't know whether you can see that. There it is. It's on the wood. So let's get into this, guys. If you enjoy the content, don't forget, like, subscribe, and click the notification bell. So after tightening the loop, as you can see, it's good and tight. It still ended up having problems. So now we need to examine why it's got problems. And there's actually slack in the fore end. And if I get a screwdriver, first fine screwdriver. In the trade it's called a turn screw, but everybody calls them screwdrivers, so I'll refer to them as a screwdriver. The first clue is that's just going round and round, it won't tighten up. There's your first clue of something wrong. And then we've got to discover how this releases itself. It's by screw. This little catch will then free off. Bit gritty. And then there's a little screw there. If I just dig the edge of this turn screw in, I can actually release this quite easily, I think. Yeah, there we go. I haven't rehearsed this. This is straight from the rack. There you go. Very gentle. Camera. This is not releasing. I suspect this screw's also turned to oblivion. Let's just see what happens if I... Yeah, it's getting loose, right. This is a little repair that you could maintain on your own gun. This is a common situation. Right. Want something finer, really. Need to find something finer. My bench is in a bit of a mess at the moment, to be honest. Sometimes use an electrical screwdriver because they're a really good quality. You can really burnish the shaft. Get a good grip. Yeah, that's just going round and round. It's not actually releasing. So it's becoming loose. Sorry, I can't get the camera angle. See this super... Oh, camera again. It's just spinning around and around. Welcome to my life. Yeah. It's not releasing. It's slack. This is now slack, but it's not releasing. Oh, that's frustrating. I'll probably do this off camera on my lap, actually. Oh, I keep banging the camera gimbal. Oh, there we go. And that's freed. All falls apart. I've got a horrible feeling I'm going to find some nasties in here. Just get that feeling somehow. Let's just zoom in a bit. There we go. That should just slide out quite easy. Oh, there's a little screw there, which is also loose. Didn't see that one. Epic fail. Right. So I already have a clear idea of what I need to do here. There we go. That's better. Right. Well, there's evidence of a split down here previously. And, yeah, I think I know what's going to need to be done. This is a solvent soak. Get all the oil out of these fixings. and as you can see they're all swelled. So solvent soak, polish and clean after the event, plug and drill these once again to accompany these tiny little screws, and just crack on with it. So that's what we're going to do. It's a soaking job. I'm actually making this recording prior to another customer arriving for an appointment. So this is how I get these little ones done. So I'm just going to pop that into some solvent. Okay. I'm going to need to use some displacement in here, otherwise I'm going to use loads of solvent. I'll do that off camera. Okay, so just taking that out of the solvent, need to allow that to dry out for a bit. As you can see, a lot of the oil has been extracted. And if I can find my phosphor bronze brush, which I was using earlier today, can't find it. Oops, there goes the camera again. Let me go find that first. As you can see, nice and clean. Just going to get the wax out of it. Waxy oil. It's cleaning up nicely. So I will drill this out, peg it. That one's okay. Drill this out, glue and peg it. And then we'll clean this back up again and get it going again. So it really depends on whether there's any kind of thread left in that or not. And yeah, there's a bit of stretch there. So it's a matter of figuring out what needs looking at and what doesn't. So first things first, let's just, oh, I should have put that in with the the four-end wood, really. Give it a bit of a clean. So let's see if there's any bite on it at all. Not really. It holds, but it's not clean. That's not going to do anything. And this little one, while it's got a bit of, oh, it's got a bit of bite, that's okay. So I can stabilise that one. Yeah. Just wondering if a bit of CA glue in there in appropriate places would just stiffen it up enough. Let's have a look. So certainly there's a little crack here, you see. And I put a drop in there. There's a little split along here. Put a drop in there too. Kind of thinking if I filled it, it might be all right. See how that goes. Let it dry for a bit. Right. Yep, that's done it. Just tightens up the hole again. Let that dry a bit. So the theory behind this is that you fill up the fibres of the wood with, oh, that's much better. That's actually got it tight now. Fills up the fibres where it's stretched. Sorry, knocking the camera now. That's super tight now, so that's good. Just checking it's not spreading. No, I don't think it is. So just effectively cut a thread. There is a little bit of spreading there, but it's nice and tight. So the likelihood is that that will actually be okay now, especially as it's, let's just see, this is where it was showing signs of slackness. It's mainly because there's too much oil in it. Already that feels so much tighter. So, excuse me, croaking away here. Oh, that is so much better. Now, it's still slack there because this is the screw that's the offending article here. Feels a bit tighter. That is awesome. There you go. So that's a quick and dirty way of fixing things. That will go back in there without any problems. And epic fail, that should have gone in first. Hey. I was all keen on testing the that's tight now, it's not flopping about, so excuse the camera once again. Everything's nice and tight. I will, on the other hand, just put a drop more there to tighten that one further. I've got a touch of the snivels, which is why I'm croaking like an old frog. Excuse me. Right. Yeah, that's better. Nice and tight. Sorry, camera again. This is wobbly. Let's see what we can do when we get this to tighten up. Sorry, I keep banging the camera. Okay, stabilized. It's fixed. So whether or not we can turn this one, oops. Poor old camera's getting it all the time. There we go. So just got to give it a little bit of a clean up. So we go to the trusty old stain again. Now that might seem overkill, but if you don't get the oil out, you will never get it to look nice again. to match everything else that's going on with the job. Sometimes it pays to just get a brush and brush it in the tight spots to get it to soak in. But that's, oh, flipping camera. That's the cleanest it'll be. I've been in a long time. The stain gets all over my hands, as you see. That's nice. So we'll just offer that up. No, it's sound. That's fine. So there's a bit of stain on this, you can see, but we'll get to that in a minute. Okay, so just a little tip. When endeavouring to get a little bit of stain in the checkering grooves and whatnot, I'll just use a little old toothbrush, just like that. That gives it that years of age look when you're trying to do a restoration of any kind. It just gives you that option to deepen the tone and come back to some sort of level of aged feel. Take off the excess quite quickly if you can, and then use up the excess where you can. So I will clean off the metal parts. I have seen guns that other people have done and they've still got yellow marks all over them. That drives me nuts. There we go. So I need to let that dry for the next step. Pop this little screw in while we're at it, so they get lost otherwise. Whoops. It's a super thin one, so just catch it with the turn screw. Nearly there. One half turn. Lovely. That works fine. Great. Let that dry a bit. Well, there's two ways you can remove any yellowing. You give it, flipping camera again. Give it a little burnish with some 5-0 wire wool. That's the one way. That's one of the ways I'm choosing to use today. Or use a little bit of solvent, that'll do, but I don't want to draw anything off the work I've already done presently. So you will notice there's a little spread there where that screw's reaching in. It might pay me to just put a little bit of CA glue across that crack. It will seal that for sure. You can see there's a little light spot there. I'll just seal that. Come back to that in a second, let that go. Or we could just accelerate it. Yeah, there's a little lift there, so there's obviously a little crack. Needs stabilising in there. Right. Probably pays to give that flipping camera. Right, I'm gonna have to adjust this camera, aren't I? Less that in the way. There you go. Give that a little burnish with some wire wool. Don't worry about losing the finish. We'll go back to that in a second. It's almost disappeared. In fact, it didn't look that bad. Anyway, I'm going to put a little bit more on there because we can. Got a drop on the brush, on the cloth. Egypt. Getting my fucking words fuddled. Right. It's almost gone there. Okay. Use a little bit of garnet polish probably. Just to give it a tiny little touch of sealer. Now, it's important when you do this not to fill the checkering, because we've just cleaned the checkering up, haven't we? So don't clean the checkering up, fill the checkering up. I've seen it filled up. It's awful when I see that. It's not what you're supposed to do. So I'm literally just giving a little burnish with some garnet polish, which is the brown shellac. There you go. It's already looking a little better. Again, quick wipe over again. Fumble. Not to forget the inside, get that sealed if you can. That just improve the nourishment, sealing ability of the wood. There's a little stain now, I don't know if you can see it. There's a little stain there from where I've marked it up. I will wipe that over when I've got a bit of polish on there. Right, it's starting to look back how it should look. So, bearing in mind there's a little bit of stain on that, just get that rubbed out. Yeah, that's gone. A little bit of alkanet root stained linseed oil. We do need to nourish this, even though it seems like the wrong thing to do. You do need to put some nourishment back into that. But it's how you take it. You need to remove it as much as well. It's a nice bit of checkering, so it doesn't need any messing with. And that looks like my next customer's arrived, so I'm going to have to take a minute. I have to finish this off camera. Needless to say, you just take off the excess very quickly. My gun dog's going mad. I quickly take the excess off. I don't want it drying in there like that. Okay. Oops. There's a few bumps on that. I'll just give them a little bit of an oiling. Not part of what the customers asked me to do, but I'll just quickly give it a tidy up while I'm at it. It won't get rid of the scratches, but it will just make it look nice. And there you go. One Armstrong finished. So that's it, guys. Till next time.